The Newport 11 is superior to our Fokkers in almost every single way, and allows any French pilot to hold his own against one or even two of us. But when it is flown by a truly competent pilot, it becomes a sight that is both marvelous and at the same time utterly disheartening. The French pilot we encountered was very skilled and managed to outmaneuver all four of us in a wild blur of turns and spins that we were simply unable to follow. I guess we can count ourselves lucky that he didn't fire a single shot during that uneven encounter. He must have ran out of bullets earlier, or his gun was completely jammed. It is curious somehow, but it would be easier to accept that he bested us if he had fired a few shots. It would have felt more like a fight. Instead, now it feels as if he had such contempt for our skills that he didn't even bother to waste bullets on us. A humiliating lesson. It is a scandal that no new fighter designs have been introduced for almost a whole year. The basic design that every Fokker variant is based on had been introduced in the summer of 1915, and its latest iteration, the E4, does not meet the requirements of the evolving air war. I dread what damage our enemies will be able to inflict on us before a new aircraft can finally enter service. And I'm sure so do the others. The mood in the squadron is bleak. I feel like I need to get away from the others for a bit and clear my head. Some fresh cold air should do the trick. Hello there, and welcome to a new episode of our amazing Wings Over Flanders Fields campaign, where we are playing as the German pilot Felix von Berg, who is currently still flying for Kampfeinsitzerkommando Sévry and participating in the Battle of Verdun. So today is the 13th of May 1916. We will be taking off just after 7 o'clock in the morning. We are looking at a sky filled with a few scattered clouds, and it looks like today the whole squadron might be going up together. Both flights, all 8 pilots, which would be a really nice thing if we can get everybody together, but that of course does depend on the mission that we are being sent on. So let's immediately go to the briefing and see what they have planned for us. What will it be today? A solo flight? That's an interesting idea. Why not? I mean, yes, that does sound dangerous, and surely it is, but at that time in the war, solo flights were not uncommon. Actually, many of the ace pilots, quote-unquote, did frequent solo flights. And I could do one as well. I could just have a nice little flight, but we should think about a plan for our flight before we take off. So what are we going to do? You know what? We don't go towards the west that much or very often. I could try to do that. I think here's what I will try to do. I will fly upriver and then I will turn west and follow the front lines, maybe until I reach Cornet here. From there I can check how much fuel I have remaining and then decide if I want to maybe continue for a little bit or if I fly north to Buzancy and then back to Sévry. That's an idea. We could try that. I will stay on my side of the lines. I will not go into enemy territory on my own. That, I think, would be a bit foolish. I will stay on the front lines, and I will climb to something between 2 and 3 kilometers, I think. so that I can keep an eye out for enemy observation planes or bombers. Those, I mean, if I meet a Squadron or two, I can see myself attacking them. But apart from that, I will have to be extremely vigilant and careful. If I see a group of new ports, I am obviously not engaging. I am immediately turning north or turning towards the nearest friendly installation that has anti-aircraft defenses and getting out of there, basically. I'm not going to engage any new ports. But this is an interesting mission insofar as I can, well, simply train my navigation skills a little bit. So yeah, that's gonna be the plan. We'll take off, we'll fly upriver, we'll climb, then we'll turn west, continue to climb until we are at about maybe 2.5 kilometers, something like that, and I will continue until I reach Cornet, or what is left of it. Or until I reach this river here. This is the Ain River. Yeah, when I reach that, I am probably gonna turn around and fly back. Because at that point, I imagine my fuel will already be more than a third gone. So, let's go to the field after taking a quick look at the weather report. Scattered cloud cover. Gentle breeze from the west, 10 knots. Okay, let's go and take off. And here we are on the field, and it's really unusual to not have more Fokkers lined up to the left or to the right of me. I'm taking off alone. So, yeah. Let's turn on the engine and we'll be able to take off immediately. There we go. Now, as I said earlier, I will first fly upriver, more or less until I reach the front lines. And then I'm going to turn towards the west and just follow the front lines until I reach the Ain River. The weather looks quite good. Yes, there are clouds up there, but not too many. They are quite scattered. We can weave in between them, which we might actually try to do later on. It depends on how high they are, I can't tell yet. Oh, it's a bit windy, okay. It's a little bit breezy, but that's fine. So, yes, this mission, this type of mission is a bit dangerous. I can actually go ahead and request a solo flight at any point in time I want. It is the button on the campaign menu screen that is right next to the button that brings you to the flight briefing. If you click that, you will always get a solo flight. Because, especially at this time in the war, solo flights were quite common. There weren't many fighters flying around in big formations, or airplanes in general. The formations or the flights were still rather small, and many pilots, many experienced pilots I should say, decided to fly a bit on their own from time to time, just to see if they could find a lone reconnaissance plane, for example, on which they, as a single airplane, could sneak up more easily than as a group. So what I'm doing here, it's quite stoic. Ah, yes, it is dangerous, of course, but it will all depend on my ability to keep track of my surroundings, to stay vigilant, and to make sure that if there are any enemies in the sky, that I see them and can react to their presence before they see me, and that I leave myself enough room to run away if necessary. Do we actually have any airfields out west? We have one to the west of Vouziers, but that is quite far away. I don't think I can make it that far and still have enough fuel left to return to Sivry. But yeah, I will have to keep a real close watch on this, make sure that I keep enough fuel to return back home. Have I reached the front line? Well, almost. We have an observation balloon here in front of us. It's just below my nose now. There it is. I will fly to that observation balloon and then I will turn west and we will hopefully have a nice, calm and enjoyable little solo flight today. We'll put a little break into the episode and I'll resume it once, or if we run into something. Welcome back. I might have a contact nearby, I'm not sure. Yeah. 2 contacts, 2 quadrants. I saw some anti-aircraft fire and I was unsure what's going on. And I actually encountered 2 quadrants. The question now is, what are they doing? Did they see me? Which I judge to be very likely because, well, I have these beautiful white clouds behind me. I would not be surprised if they are able to see me. They are also above me. So if they are coming this way, it will be difficult for me to climb above them. Let me maybe work on cutting them off if they are coming this way. I really can't tell. I'll fly a little bit into enemy territory here. Or towards the enemy territory, I'm not inside of it yet. Oh, what the... Those are not quadrants. Those do look like aviatics though. Damn, that's what's dangerous when you're flying in between clouds. You come around the cloud and suddenly, bam! Unknown aircraft. Those do look like aviatics though. We'll take a look at them. As to where we are, by the way, we are currently, I think, just above the Ain River. Yeah, there's the river below us. So, I misjudged my fuel reserves a little bit. We still have plenty. We can fly on for a bit longer. Let's verify that these are indeed aviatics. Yes, they are. And I could also just stick around and escort these guys for a bit. Now, I was so surprised by these aviatics that I lost sight of the quadrants, but there they are. They do seem to be flying away from me for now. So let me climb. And we'll stalk them, see if they go over the lines into our territory, and then I might try to set up something like a little ambush for them. Or, you know, just keep myself between them and their path of retreat, so that I can take a few shots at them as they try to fly home. I have no idea where these aviatics are going. They are probably going to bomb something. I mean, there are plenty of targets towards the south, around Saint Menehould. So plenty of opportunities for them to drop some bombs over there. Or on the front lines around here. We can see the quadrants silhouetted against the cloud here in front of me. And I am indeed getting into a position where I am in between them and their side of the lines. They are continuing north into my territory. I am receiving anti-aircraft fire though, so that will point me out to them. They might decide to turn around, and I think that's actually what they're doing. Yeah, they are turning. They have seen me. Or they drop bombs on the front lines and are now turning around to get back home. I can maybe take a swing at them here by cutting them off. It would be nice to climb a little bit more so that I can dive towards them and pick up a little bit of speed. But we are already quite high. We are pretty much at the maximum altitude for the Fokker E3, which is about 3 kilometers. That's the maximum altitude where this aircraft is still effective. It can go, of course, a little bit higher than that, but you're not gonna win any speed records anymore. And the turning capabilities are also degrading. Yeah, these guys are diving towards... they're diving away from me, essentially. Trying to go back to their side of the lines. I am following for now. I'm keeping my eyes peeled. I'm staying vigilant. The last thing I want to do is to be surprised by a bunch of Nieuports that are rushing to help these guys. We have to remember that the gunner on the quadrants is sitting in the front, so the firing arc towards the rear is actually quite poor. An attack from the rear is therefore really the best course of action against these things. And now that they are diving, I can dive too. I can pick up a bit of speed here. Which one is the rearmost aircraft? Well, I think they are basically flying next to each other, so it doesn't really matter which one I attack first. I'm trying to dive below their tail. They're coming up on it quite fast. And the gunner doesn't have shots on me, at least this gunner doesn't. The other one might have. I'll try to aim for the squishy bits. Yeah, that gunner fired at me. So one quadrant damaged. Okay, they are going into this cloud. I don't like this. I do not like this. I don't know what's on the other side of this cloud. So we are gonna take one more swing at this guy. Maybe damage an engine or something. And then turn... yeah, they are going through. I do not like this at all. We are gonna take one last swing at him and then we are turning around. It's difficult to stay on target here. I'm jammed, damn it. Gun jammed, of course. Gun unjammed. Do I want... yeah, okay, we are still above the front lines. I think I can squeeze in one more go at this guy and then we are turning north. Coming in quick. Banking over. Just raking the whole thing here. He's still flying. These Squadrons are surprisingly tough. They really are. Okay, I'm not gonna follow them any further. I'm now in enemy territory and I don't want to be here on my own. I don't know what can be behind one of these clouds. There could be a group of Newports lurking in the area. And I really don't want to meet them. Fuel is still okay. Is my gun still okay? Yeah. No jam this time. It looks like the second Squadron, the one that I attacked, is lagging behind. So I think I have messed up an engine. But the pilot seems to be okay. His observer, his gunner, might not be. He did not fire at me when I... Well, he could have. I think just now, when I turned away, he could have fired at me, and he didn't. Yeah, they're flying into that cloud back there. They're getting away. These Squadrons... surprisingly tough aircraft. If you have only one machine gun to shoot them with. There's a reason why they began mounting 2 machine guns on the Fokker E4, which was originally designed to carry 3 machine guns. Excuse me. The E4 was originally designed to carry 3 machine guns, but the 3rd machine gun proved to be just too heavy for the aircraft, making it even less maneuverable. So they decided to go with 2 instead. Mostly. Some pilots did fly the E4 with 3 machine guns. Okay, I can write into my report that I damaged 1 Squadron and forced 2 Squadrons away. No idea what the original mission was, but whatever it was, they're not gonna execute it today. We prevented that. And now I'm gonna fly northwest for a bit, fly back to my own territory, we'll orient ourselves, get a good fix on where we are. We are somewhere west of the Ain River right now, but I can't see the river, it should be to my right. However, yeah, there it is actually. There's the Ain River to my right. So we are somewhere west of the Ain River. If I fly north, I think I would arrive at Rousier. I could continue further west along the lines. Maybe until I reach Somerthy. Maybe I have enough fuel for that. I don't have enough fuel to make it all the way to Rhin and then back to Sivry. I don't think so. But we can maybe fly a little bit further west before we turn around and fly home to Sivry. So let's do that. I have now crossed back into my own territory. I will stay on the northern side of this cloud here and will continue west for a little bit longer. We'll also climb back to altitude. I'm now, I think, at a height of about 2 kilometers, more or less. Let me climb a bit more. And we'll continue this patrol. For now, another little break in the episode, and we will resume this if we run into something else, or once we begin our return trip back to Sivry. Welcome back. I am currently turning back around towards the east. My fuel is getting to a point where, well, I think we are almost at half fuel and I want to keep a bit of a safety margin. So I'm turning back around to the east and we are flying back to Sivry. Now there are two ways I could go about this. I can continue to fly along the front lines in the hopes to maybe meet another group of quadrants or something similar. Or I could try to navigate directly towards Sivry. But I think that for now I'm gonna stick to the front lines. We'll fly alongside those, and well, they will bring us back to the Mius River at some point, where we will then turn towards Sivry. I'm keeping an eye on my fuel, of course. As to where I currently am, that's a good question. I see some settlements below me, and well, the Ain River is over there. You can see a sliver of it through the gap in the clouds. We are somewhere west of it. I think those settlements that I see below me, maybe we are looking at Sompi, or the settlements much closer to the front line there. I couldn't quite see I don't think I've reached the point where the front line curves around back towards the northwest. I couldn't even see that because of the thick clouds there that I arrived at just before I turned around. I didn't want to fly through them or to fly around them. Too much fuel expenditure in flying through them. Well, they do look quite thick though, so I wasn't really interested in losing my bearings inside of them. I will now just fly back towards the east, following the lines, looking out for any anti-aircraft fire or for black dots in the sky, and hopefully we will be able to return to Sivry safely. But if I do encounter another reconnaissance aircraft or two along the way, well, I wouldn't mind. I still have plenty of ammunition. And there we are again. I have returned to the Mius River. It is right here, so Sivry is quite near. But I have spotted something over there, and I don't know what it is. The shape does not remind me of a Newport. So we'll go and have a quick look. I think it could be on the French side of the lines, and it is not receiving anti-aircraft fire, so I do have to be careful. I am really curious what that is. It doesn't look like a Newport at all, so I think will be okay. It might be... Is that a Roland? A German bomber and reconnaissance aircraft. It's possible. How much fuel do I have left? Less than a third, but still enough. We are going to investigate. Sivry is not far away now. The Mius River is below us. And I do believe that we are still on our side of the lines. I'm not receiving any anti-aircraft fire myself, so that's a good sign. And yeah, that could be a Roland. The shape of it would fit, I think. And I think I see the observer on the top there, or the gunner, I should say. I do believe that to be a Roland. I'm quite sure by now. He's probably flying a reconnaissance mission along the lines. We could accompany him for a short while, but not for long. I think I now find myself in the situation where if I run into something, I might not have enough fuel to fight it and to then return back to Sivry. And yeah, now I'm really sure that's a Roland because it's really damn fast. That thing is hauling. I don't think I can catch it. I don't think so. Just out of curiosity, we can take a closer look at it. Let me see. There we go. Yeah, Roland. Very nice aircraft. Very sleek lines. Very elegant. Where is it? There it is. But yeah, I think at this point I might just consider returning back to Sivri. My fuel reserves are not getting better. Let's turn around. Follow the river. Back to Sivri, which should be... there it is actually. So yeah, we're not far away. Still making sure to check my 6. Also, from time to time it's important that you swing your tail to the side and check your low 6 to make sure that nothing is sneaking up on you from below. Checking high 6 towards the sun to make sure that nothing is diving down on me, but we seem to be okay. Let's dive down. We'll dive towards Sivri, do a little bit of contour chasing here, close to the ground, and then we are going to return to the airfield. Do not over-rev the engine. But we are okay. The Fokker can actually dive quite well. Better than the Newports. That's, I think, really the only strength that the Fokker has over the Newports. I'm better in a dive. I can sustain a dive better at higher speeds. Nope, too high. Something is starting to shake a lot, but now we're okay. Don't want to damage myself in the flight or in this dive here. Sivri is over there. There's the airfield. We'll come at it from the direction of this settlement here in front of us. We'll take a look at the wind direction and then we'll land. There's the observation balloon. If anybody's following me, he would by now be receiving anti-aircraft fire. I don't see any anti-aircraft fire, so everything's fine. We're turning towards the airfield. There we are. That's an observation balloon back there. And another observation balloon there. And we are back at Sivri. Looks like a shed and a tent have been bombed at some point. They will have to be repaired, and another tent. So I guess that maybe last night a few enemy bombers showed up. The wind is blowing this way. Let's come right now, and I'll try to come in from this direction here. Once I reach these buildings here in front of me, I'll turn around. And we are going to land. Which will bring this patrol to a close. It's a successful patrol in my book, because I'm still alive. I didn't run into any Newports. And I even got a few good shots at an enemy Quadron. That Quadron, I don't know if it made it back to one of its airfields, but that thing got hurt. So they did not get to complete their mission, and that Quadron will have to spend some time in the workshop to be repaired. Let's blip, so that we can slow down. And we are slowly coming in towards the airfield now. The wind is coming at us from the front, which will help to slow us down even further. I have to make sure that I don't hit any of these trees or buildings. We'll come in like this. Let me just side slip a little bit. Point the nose downwards a little bit so that I don't lose too much speed. And now here we are. Flare out. Oh, little bounce here. Not the greatest of landings, but it's okay. There's a fire drum here in front of us. Let's make sure that we do not hit that. And we'll circle around the drum carefully and slowly, while digging the skid in. And let me return towards the hangars back there. Let's see, where can we park up? There's an aircraft in front of every tent. In that case, we'll just park up somewhere in front of the building up here. There's the windsock. Let's make sure that we don't run into that. And hard rudder. Give the engine a little pulse here to swing us around and turn off. Awesome, we made it. And we are still in one piece. Awesome. That was an enjoyable flight. A little bit stressful because of all the clouds and, well, you never know what's on the other side of one of them. As we have seen with that trio of aviatics that suddenly appeared on my side. Those could have easily been Newports too, and I wouldn't have seen them coming. So that's a little bit stressful, but we made it. So let's go ahead and go to the debrief. Let's see, how many shots did I fire? I fired 112 rounds, of which 32 hit. Almost 30% accuracy, that's quite alright. Total flying time was 73 minutes. We must fight on, get ready for next sortie. You landed at a friendly field. Our airfield has sustained damage from enemy bombers. Repairs will commence as soon as possible. I did not get damaged at all, apparently, which is good. So we can hit down. I'm not gonna claim that Quadron because I did not see it go down. Not at all. It was still flying and maybe it made it all the way back to one of its airfields. It is now the 14th of May. The enemy must be as tired as we are with this never-ending mayhem, but we must continue. Currently the ground war on the front is quiet, apart from minor barrages and exchange of small arms fire. Be careful of machine gun nests when flying low over the front. For the moment we are surviving. Be on constant alert at all times. The enemies have been reportedly quite active in the air over our sector. Viel Glück. Is there any news? No news. We might go back to the main menu and check that, just to make sure. So yeah, let's actually go ahead and do just that. Back to the main menu, back into the campaign, watch a little video. These look like French soldiers. Yeah, these are French soldiers. This footage could very well be from the Battle of Verdun. And well, this is just... I mean, when you think about the insane loss of life and basically both armies just throwing men at each other, it's sad. Let's go take a quick look at the news menu before we review the mission. Okay, nothing new. Let's review this flight. I want to know how far west did I really go. And we are taking off. I flew south for a while, then I turned towards the west. Roland is taking off from Broulin. A few of them. And Newport 11 suffers a fatal crash down in the south. Fokker E3 taking off from Metz. Another Newport suffers a fatal crash. I think they collided with each other. 3 of them. Heh. No, 4 of them. Okay, something went really wrong down there. Not sure what, but somehow they managed to run into each other. That, I guess, is just a freak accident. Kakia Metz is taking off. And I'm continuing to fly west. We can zoom in a little bit. A Caudron is taking off from Lem. And Newport is taking off from Vadelancourt. And I'm following the front lines, and here I'm making a little turn. So either I'm going around the cloud here, or this is where I've spotted those Caudrons. A French observation balloon over here is taking hits from... Who's that? Yasta 13. Of course, at this point it's not yet Yasta 13. Who might this be? Not quite sure who Yasta 13 is, or what the unit is called at the moment. It's a KEK in the area. A Kampfeinsitzer commando of that, I'm sure. And they managed to destroy the French observation balloon. Okay, yeah. So this is where I went around... Let us zoom in a little bit. This is where I went around the cloud, spotted the Caudrons, started following them, and where I saw the Aviatics, I think. And now I'm getting hits on one of the Caudrons. Escadrille 4. We can see where they are based after we review the mission here. A Caudron manages to shoot itself. They are notorious for that. I hit it again. And again. And yeah, I break away and I continue almost all the way to Sompy before turning back around. Roland is dropping bombs, Casta 8, over here near Nantulois. And yeah, they are just bombing the front lines. Caudron lands at Ove. Here. This is the... Is this the one that I engaged? Somehow I hit both of them? At some point? I didn't even notice. Which one did I hit more? I think 8521. That is the one that wasn't damaged very much. I wonder where the second one is. Roland's dropping more bombs. French troops being bombed. Ah, Yasta 13. Porsche, or yeah, Porsche airfield, so that is... Oh, how are they called right now? I'm not quite sure. We can check that in just a moment. Squadron dropping bombs somewhere. Not sure where. Roland suffers a fatal crash over here. Castor 8 collides with... Oh damn, 2 Rolands collided with each other in the sky. Supplies destroyed by Squadron. Oh, up here! All the way up here north of Yametz. Wow, they went deep into our territory. Roland's dropping bombs. French troops bombed by Roland. And yeah, the Squadron that I damaged lands. Okay, it made it back to its airfield here. I'm flying here. French observation balloon down here takes hits from Yametz. That must be at the edge of their range, really. Takes plenty of hits. And is destroyed. Newport 12 lands at Vadelancourt. And I am about to arrive back above the Meuse River. Yeah, this is where I followed the Roland for a little while, and I turned back towards Sivry. And we are landing at Sivry. Aviatics are landing at Brulin. And that's it. That was the mission. So I went pretty far west. I really did. I don't think I've been this far west since I have been stationed at Verdun. So this is the furthest west that I've been while I've been in this area. So Escadrille 4. The Squadrons belong to Escadrille 4. Let's go to the intel room. Let's see where they are based. Escadrille 4. They are based at Lem, next to Verdun. So they did not get to return back to their home airfield. Not at all. I chased them to here. This is where they had to flee to. And I don't think that the one that I damaged is gonna take off anytime soon. That thing got damaged. You can tell how much it got damaged just by the time difference. How long or how much time has passed in between the landing of the first one and the landing of the second one. That one lagged behind a lot. But okay. That was a nice mission. It really was. I enjoyed that. Unusual that the game has given us a solo flight mission, but hey, why not? So yeah, as I said earlier in the mission, if you hit this button here, Lone Wolf, that always gives you a mission like that. So if you're in the mood to fly a Lone Wolf mission, or to just test your aircraft out a little bit, I mean, this button is super useful if, for example, you get a new aircraft and you want to just test it for a while, then you can go on a solo mission and just fly around your own airfield a little bit. That's something that you can do anytime you want. I should clarify that, or qualify that. You can do that anytime you want, once you have completed, I think, 5 missions as a fighter pilot. Then this button appears. So if you start a new campaign, it is not there. It appears after you have flown a few missions. Yeah, I think so. So, this has been today's mission, and an interesting little change of pace compared to the missions that we usually go on. I've quite enjoyed that, and I hope you did as well. Let me know in the comments what you think, and let me know if you are looking forward to a change of scenery. I'm not gonna say more than that. You can let me know in the comments what your guess is. Where am I going? I have hinted at it in the past. So maybe you can figure it out. Let's see if we have any detectives here in this little community. So for now, once again, thank you very much for watching today's episode. I do hope that you have enjoyed it, and I hope you're looking forward to more. Until then, have some really great days and goodbye.